So I'm starting today's vlog off at 9 o'clock p.m. I did nothing this entire day. I kind of just spent it sleeping and also going to the gym. I'm gonna get started on studying a little bit later today. Well, today's kind of over, but a little bit later tonight. But for now, I'm actually gonna go over to Jay's place because my girlfriend's actually gonna cut Amanda's hair over there. We'll see how it goes, and she's cutting it short, so let's hope it goes well, just because once you go short, you can't really go back. So we'll see how this goes. But before that, I do want to talk about something. A little bit update before I start. The haircut little adventure got canceled just because it became way too late. So that's getting pushed back to an indefinite time. I don't know what's gonna happen, but not happening. Which is fine because that gives me more time to work on my video today. And it's gonna be about YouTube and how I miss the old YouTube. And by old YouTube, I specifically mean like YouTube around 2012 to 2018, early 2019. Because that's when YouTube, I feel like, was in its golden age. That's when YouTube started a lot of relevance and there's still a lot of people, you know, loving what YouTube is doing, and there's a lot of excitement going on YouTube. But there are 5 specific things I did want to cover about me missing YouTube and how it was before. I truly think that YouTube had a special thing going on back during their golden era, and specifically I think all these YouTubers had more of a focus to have authenticity with their audience, and whether that be with Q&As, showing them behind the scene videos, or just not hyper, relying on these really flashy, fast editing style videos like 1,000 people versus like one cake. It's like stuff like that wasn't really that, popular back then. And I'm not trying to, blame Mr. Beast for any of this, just because I think he did popularize the idea of, making YouTube a bigger thing than it already was before and putting more production value in videos, which is a great thing that's going on, just because it shows, the world what YouTubers are capable of doing. However, I think it kind of took away from the most important aspect of YouTube, which is showcasing yourself and the authentic side of yourself, not, showcasing the world how extreme you can be with challenges or nonsense like that. I think what YouTubers were doing back then was actually, communicating with the audience, actually listening to their feedback, and, responding to comments, which you'll still see, YouTubers responding to their comments, but not that much anymore. You only see that with like smaller-ish channels, which is a bit upsetting to see, just because I think a lot of viewers and subscribers do love the fact that they can actually, have a human and personal connection with their YouTube person that they're watching. And let me emphasize this, that I do understand the bigger you get, the harder it becomes to really make a connection with each and every single one of your audience members. However, I think there can still be, a sort of focus on your audience, just because I feel like the bigger these YouTubers get, the more they lose focus on the people that actually got them there to that point, and they just focus more on, making videos, which is not a bad thing, but you should be focusing on your audience because those are the people who got you to that point in the first place. The second point I wanted to make about YouTube was how there was a greater emphasis on storytelling rather than giving a wow factor in the videos. And I mean this in the way of like how YouTubers really want to focus on telling a story and making an impact with their video, and it not being so flashy and fast-paced. I know I kind of touched on this just briefly before, but I think I was really, really, really special when these YouTubers were like giving story times and these little edited videos. They weren't even like hyper edited. They were just very hard cuts, and sometimes the classic zoom in like that and the zoom out like that. Just very soft editing, as I'd like to call it. And I think that was just a special thing, just because even though there was not that much of an emphasis on production value with videos, there's more of an emphasis on getting your story out there and being authentic with your audience and trying to tell from the heart rather than telling from your editing software, whether it be Adobe Premiere, iMovie, whatever it is. And I feel like a lot of YouTubers are relying on that they are the best of the best, just because they have the most, you know, unique editing style or the most like hyper awesome effects that they put in their videos. So I think we're starting to lose that focus from storytelling into more how well can your videos be produced. Now, another thing I noticed, and I could be wrong about this because I wasn't a creator at that time, was the fact that there was a greater like bond between creators in the YouTube community. Just because I think you saw a lot more collaborations, a lot more YouTubers working together on videos, and you'd see a lot of like cameos in YouTubers' videos and stuff like that. And I just think that the community within creators was just a lot more tight-knit, and they got along a lot better. And just because they were really, you know, eager to help each other out and get each other to the next, like, you know, level. And they were just, they love collaborating and they just love making videos. And I feel like that's what really brought these creators together, the love to make videos. And these days, I feel like when we do see collaborations, it's more for the wow factor of, oh, I could collab with this person, or it's more for the fact that, oh, if I collab with this person, I can, you know, it's gonna get me to the next level, rather than, you know, they want to collab with this person because they like the person or because they actually just want to learn from this person. It's less of that and more of that. And you see that with, like, I feel like this is not really relevant to YouTube that much, but it does affect it, is with, you know, streaming platforms like Twitch, when you'll see these big streamers collaborating with like these huge rappers, and it gives a wow factor that, oh, I can collab with these people, rather than, oh, I want to collab with these people because they enjoy the same things I do, which is making videos. So this is less of a complaint, but more of just something I've noticed, was that YouTube was a lot more entertaining back then, just because there was so much more drama going on, just because there's so many creators, you know, engaging with each other, whether it be in positive or negative ways. But it was so entertaining. Like, if you guys remember the whole diss track era with like Rice Gum, like KSI, or just Logan Paul, Jake Paul, that whole era was just so entertaining to watch, whether you were a creator or whether you were a viewer during that time. It was entertaining for everybody. And I know that YouTube probably will never get to that point again, just because there are so many, you know, explosive personalities on the platform at that time, where they all just combined together just to make this chemical reaction of just entertainment. And it was so entertaining to watch that. And even though a lot of it was probably fake, till this day I kind of wonder if any of that was real. I'm sure some of it was, but a lot of it was definitely, you know, scripted and planned out. But it was such a great time to be on YouTube, and it really felt like you were part of a community if you were on YouTube during that time. And for any of you guys that were, you know, not around that time, just know that that was like the Wild West of YouTube. There was so much going on, and it was just a great time to be on that platform. And I think this last point might be a little bit controversial, but I think there was more of a freedom to say whatever you want on YouTube back then, just because people didn't really have the fear of getting canceled back then, just because there was not, the whole cancel culture wasn't really a thing back then, and YouTubers could really speak their mind. And sometimes creators would say things that they're really not supposed to say, but I feel like it was more of a Wild West type of situation where you could get away with a lot. And so in retrospect, sometimes I think that was a bad idea, but I feel like we're going more towards a culture of just being a little too hypersensitive about things, where we can't really say how we feel without the fear of getting judged or canceled on the internet. And getting canceled on the internet is something that I feel like a lot of these big creators have had to go through, you know, currently now, just because they can't really act like how they did back then. And I think a lot of creators have faced that backlash, and they are starting to understand that. So I don't think there's really a way to bring back that type of mentality where say whatever you want and don't have that fear, because we should have that mentality where, you know, sometimes the things you do say have consequences, but I don't think we should be afraid to speak our mind sometimes, depending on what this topic is and what you have to say. Because I truly believe that we should be able to say how we feel on this platform and give our opinions about different topics, because it's called YouTube after all. It's you, and you are projecting onto your audience about what you feel and what you're going through. So I feel like that's an important factor that we should consider when we are in this age of canceling people, which is so stupid, but sometimes I feel like it has to be done. Some final remarks I want to make before I end this video is that I don't want this to be a sort of video where I'm calling out YouTube. It's not that. I think YouTube is going in this direction that's really interesting. It's more, we're starting to realize that creators are these powerful figures that can create these awesome works of art and these awesome videos that really have an impact on the world. And I think that's a great thing that we're starting to see that, you know, these creators are actual, you know, creators. I feel like we weren't seeing that before, and now we're seeing it with these, you know, high scale videos and high production level videos that we're starting to see. But I think it kind of does suck that we are losing authenticity, you know, at the sacrifice of production. So hopefully YouTube doesn't turn into, you know, mainstream TV type of platforms where everything's very censored and very, you know, fake. But I don't think we're going to that direction yet. So I'm still hopeful about where YouTube is going, and I'm excited to see where it goes in the future, because hopefully I will be in the history books of YouTube, and I've made my mark on here now. So I'm excited to see where it goes, and I'm gonna end today's video here. So thank you guys so much for watching, and there are currently 5 more videos to go. So I will see you tomorrow. Goodbye.